that is first-degree murder with special circumstances, committing this crime for financial gain.
That's the Los Angeles District Attorney putting a name on what happened to Celeste Rivas Hernandez. After 7 months of silence, the medical examiner's report just got unsealed, and buried in the findings is a single detail that prosecutors say ties D4VD to her in a way no alibi can undo. Stay with me, because what the autopsy revealed about Celeste's final hours is the version of that night nobody has been allowed to hear until now. On a late summer day in Los Angeles, a tow yard employee at Hollywood Tow went about a routine shift. The Lake Elsinore girl's decomposed body was found September 8 after workers at Hollywood Tow reported a strong odor coming from the Tesla registered to the singer. Officers opened the front trunk, also known as a frunk, and found the remains in 2 cadaver bags. The Tesla, a 2023 Model Y, had been sitting in the Hollywood Hills for weeks before anyone flagged it. The car was impounded after someone reported it was abandoned in the Hollywood Hills, where neighbors say it had been parked for more than a month. The tires were first marked by authorities on August 27, 2025. A parking citation was issued September 3rd. The Tesla was impounded on September 5th. 3 days later, an employee traced the smell to the front trunk. What police found inside was harrowing. Authorities found a decomposed head and torso in a cadaver bag inside the Tesla stored at the yard, court documents said. Her body was found in what the medical examiner's office investigators called an advanced state of decomposition and dismembered into several parts. The body was so badly decomposed that law enforcement couldn't initially determine the victim's age or ethnicity. It took over a week. On September 16, 2025, the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner identified the body as that of Celeste Rivas Hernandez through forensic examination due to advanced decomposition. This was the girl who had been reported missing. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's office said the remains found in the Tesla were identified as Celeste Rivas Hernandez, who had been reported missing on April 5, 2024. She was 13 years old at the time of her disappearance, and officials believe she died when she was 14. Her remains were discovered the day after what would have been her 15th birthday. September 8, 2025, was one day after the girl would have turned 15 and more than a year after she was reported missing. The Tesla was registered to an address in Texas tied to David Anthony Burke's family. Prosecutors state a 2023 Tesla Model Y, registered to D4VD at a Texas address tied to his family, was towed from an upscale Hollywood Hills neighborhood where it appears abandoned. David Anthony Burke, better known to millions of fans as D4VD, the singer behind one of the biggest viral hits in recent years. He first achieved commercial success with his 2022 singles Romantic Homicide and Here With Me, both of which earned multiple platinum certifications. The man whose music was streamed hundreds of millions of times now had a dead teenager in his car. D4VD, who first went viral on TikTok, where he has nearly 4 million followers, had been on his Withered World tour when the teen's body was discovered in his vehicle. He was performing in Minneapolis the night the remains were found. The last few shows of the tour, including those in San Francisco and Los Angeles, were canceled. On September 18th, 10 days after the discovery, LAPD investigators served a search warrant on Burke's Hollywood Hills rental home. LAPD investigators executed a search warrant at a Hollywood Hills property occupied by Burke and seized electronic devices, including a computer. A private investigator hired by the property owner reported finding a burn cage incinerator. Several bags of evidence were seized from the home, and then, within days, Burke's manager terminated the lease on the property. Burke's manager terminated the property's lease shortly after the search, and he moved out. Movers were seen hauling boxes into a truck. The Hollywood Hills house was emptied, and D4VD went silent. To understand how a 14-year-old girl from a quiet California town ended up dead in the trunk of a pop star's Tesla, you have to go back to the beginning, back to Lake Elsinore and back to the internet. Celeste Abigail Rivas Hernandez was born on September 7, 2010. She was a 14-year-old girl from Lake Elsinore, California, born to parents who immigrated from El Salvador. Rivas was reported missing 3 times in the final year of her life, according to the Riverside County Sheriff's Office. Lake Elsinore is an unassuming community in Southern California, the kind of place where not much happens. Her brief life unfolded in this unassuming community with a population of more than 70,000 and a sprawling lake at the center of town that is home to a lively water sports scene. Just down the road from Celeste's house is the high school she would have attended. Rivas Hernandez did not live long enough to study there. Her parents, Jesus Rivas and Mercedes Martinez, described her in their first public statement as a beautiful, strong girl who loved to sing and dance. Every Friday night was movie night, and we spent wonderful times together. But behind the scenes, Celeste's life was turbulent. Damian Hernandez, 15, told TMZ that he and Rivas Hernandez dated at a Lake Elsinore middle school when she was in the 7th grade. He told the publication that Rivas Hernandez was looking for something serious, and that her troubled home life made her unhappy. Hernandez told TMZ that Rivas Hernandez talked about running away from her Lake Elsinore home and even joked about it at school. Meanwhile, 1,500 miles away in Houston, Texas, a homeschooled teenager named David Anthony Burke was building something extraordinary from nothing. Born in New York City and raised in Houston, Texas, Burke began composing music in 2021 for his Fortnite gameplay montages. Burke began his music career by uploading Fortnite gaming montages. To avoid copyright issues, he started creating original music, blending lo-fi pop, R&B, and indie rock. He was recording songs on his iPhone in his sister's walk-in closet using an app called BandLab. By late 2021, D4VD was using his sister's walk-in closet to experiment with the only recording equipment he had at the time: his iPhone, earbuds, and online music-making software BandLab. It was raw, lo-fi, and, to the algorithms of TikTok, irresistible. In July 2022, he dropped a song that would change his life. He released the single Romantic Homicide on July 20, 2022, following TikTok snippets of it going viral. Romantic Homicide charted at number 3 on the Hot Alternative Songs chart and appeared at number 33 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, marking his first entry on the chart. By September 2022, the song's success prompted Darkroom and Interscope Records to sign Burke. He was 17 years old, a record deal with the same label that developed Billie Eilish. Millions of streams, tours, brand deals with Crocs and Hollister, the kind of overnight success story that feels almost algorithmic in its perfection. But there is a deeply disturbing parallel timeline running underneath all of this. Because according to prosecutors, around the very same period that D4VD's career was launching into the stratosphere, he was allegedly beginning a relationship with a 12-year-old girl. Rivas was allegedly a member of Burke's official server in the messaging app Discord as early as 2022, evidenced by the presence of a user with the username Celeste, whom other users at the time referred to as Burke's girlfriend. Online detectives uncovered Discord messages exchanged between a user named Celeste and D4VD when she was 12 years old. In screenshots obtained by the New York Post, alleged chats between the two indicate Celeste met the singer in 2022 when she was 12 years old. In a fan chat room, a user named D4VD wrote, "Celeste in here?" To which a user named Celeste replied, "I David Barkeke." Celeste's mother told TMZ her daughter had a boyfriend named David. Rivas and Burke had matching tattoos. The tattoo, the word "shh," was inked on Celeste's right index finger, identical to one D4VD has on his own finger. A person who claimed they moderated D4VD's Discord server and Twitch channel posted a message saying they did not know about Rivas Hernandez. In the message, the mod says they were not aware of her true age or that she was a missing person. According to that admin, based on what was shared in D4VD's Twitch streams and from Rivas Hernandez's role in the Discord server, they believe she was around 18 or 19 years old. But Celeste was not 18 or 19. She was in 7th grade. She still had braces when she died. In January 2024, something appeared on the internet that now serves as a haunting marker in this timeline. Celeste had been reported missing by family and friends multiple times, starting in early 2024. She and D4VD appeared together in a Twitch livestream that January. She was just 13 years old when she appeared alongside Burke in a livestream video shot in the wee hours of the morning from inside a West Hollywood home linked to the entertainer. Between January and March 2024, CNN used geolocation to verify Burke's presence near Celeste's family home. CNN used geolocation to verify Burke's unexplained presence a few blocks from Rivas's family home, more than an hour's drive from where he lived in Hollywood around the time the girl was reported missing. Between then and March 2024, he was photographed getting out of a black Tesla near the 7th grader's home. Celeste's family reported her missing in April 2024. Celeste Rivas Hernandez, a then 13-year-old 7th grader, was reported missing by her family for the third time in 2024. She was found by police and returned home. She was found by police in Hollywood and returned home. Then, in May 2024, she was reported missing again. She last ran away in April 2024 and last contacted her family in May 2024. Her brother told KNBC a critical detail. Rivas's brother told KNBC that she went missing after Burke picked her up in his car. During the summer of 2024, while Celeste was missing, D4VD posted on Discord that he was experiencing writer's block. "I'm in a song crisis right now," the entertainer. Then 19 lamented on Discord. "Drop the one with the missing girl Celeste Rivas Hernandez," the anonymous user wrote. The message went unaddressed by the singer. By June 2024, Celeste was photographed backstage at one of D4VD's Los Angeles shows. Celeste was also photographed backstage at one of his Los Angeles shows in June 2024. She appeared in images on the memory card of a camera left behind at the singer's home in the Hollywood Hills after news of her death became public. Hernandez, a runaway from Lake Elsinore, had been seen with Burke before her remains were discovered. Friends in the Los Angeles music scene told TMZ they believed she was a college-age girlfriend. Sources reported that she resided in a rental property with Burke and met him through the internet. A 13-year-old girl reported missing by her family, allegedly living with an adult musician in the Hollywood Hills. And all the while, D4VD's career continued to soar. Coachella performances, sold-out venues, millions of followers hanging on every cryptic lyric and carefully curated post. Then, in early 2025, D4VD released his debut studio album. In 2025, he released his debut studio album, Withered, which peaked at number 13 on the US Billboard 200. He announced a world tour, and in February 2025, he released a music video for One More Dance that would later take on a deeply disturbing significance. Months before Celeste was discovered dismembered in the trunk of his Tesla, D4VD released a video that depicted him dragging a bloodied body before stuffing it in the back of a car. The video for his single One More Dance has now surpassed 3.9 million YouTube views as fans resurface it online. The imagery of death was woven through D4VD's brand. D4VD's now canceled Withered World Tour includes themes of death and remembrance. Fans entering Burke's show are greeted by a casket and guest book. He was selling bloody shirt merchandise on his website, which was quietly taken down after the investigation began. And then came the night. The night everything allegedly ended for Celeste. According to prosecutors, the last night Celeste Rivas Hernandez was known to be alive was April 23, 2025. Celeste, a reported runaway from Lake Elsinore in Riverside County, was last known to be alive on April 23, 2025, when she arrived at D4VD's rented home in the Hollywood Hills. According to LAPD Chief Jim McDonnell, she was never heard from again, Hochman said. On that same date, April 23, 2025, tickets for D4VD's Withered World Tour went on pre-sale. Prosecutors allege that Celeste threatened to expose Burke's relationship with her, a relationship that, according to the charges, involved sexual abuse of a minor under the age of 14. Prosecutors claim D4VD had a sexual relationship with Celeste and killed her. When she threatened to expose his criminal conduct and devastate his musical career, according to Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hochman. The district attorney laid out the prosecution's theory in stark terms. Celeste was just a child under 14 years old when David Burke allegedly engaged in repeated lewd and lascivious sexual relations with her. But Burke's actions did not allegedly stop there. When she threatened to expose his criminal conduct and devastate his musical career, Burke allegedly murdered her, cut up her body, and stuffed her body in 2 bags that were placed in the front trunk of his car. There, the dismembered body sat for over 4 months decomposing until it was found at a tow yard on September 8, 2025. The prosecution's charges are extensive. He faces a charge of first-degree murder with special circumstances, along with charges of lewd acts with a child under 14 and mutilation of human remains. The special circumstances include murder of a witness, murder for financial gain, and lying in wait. There is also a special allegation that Burke personally used a deadly and dangerous weapon, a sharp instrument, to commit the crime. As for what the autopsy found, the details, released on April 22, 2026, after months of being sealed, are devastating. The County of Los Angeles Department of Medical Examiner determined the cause and manner of death for Celeste Rivas Hernandez as multiple penetrating injuries caused by objects. The manner of death is homicide. The report outlined 2 penetrating wounds. According to the LA County Medical Examiner's Office, 1 stab wound was on her right abdomen with an injury to her liver, and a second stab wound was on her left chest. Celeste's body weighed just 71 pounds when it was found dismembered in the front trunk of the Tesla. According to the investigative summary in the cause of death report, the medical examiner recorded on the scene that both arms and legs were removed above the elbows and knees and were found in a black trash bag underneath her body. Even the left ring and pinky fingers appear to have been mutilated. Forensic pathologist Dr. Priya Banerjee, who reviewed the report independently, stated that the injuries described were most consistent with stabbing, and the girl was likely dismembered after she died. Where her body was dismembered, the report says, multiple fragments of blue plastic material are found embedded in the cut surfaces. Barry Fisher, the former director of the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department Crime Lab, told ABC7 that that's possibly from fragments of a plastic device, a knife or something. The report also turned up additional details. There were presumptive positives for benzodiazepines and methamphetamine (MDMA) in her system. Alcohol was also detected in her system, but the medical examiner said it's unclear whether it was present due to ingestion or decomposition. A tattoo reading "shh" was found on the inside of her right index finger. The autopsy report said, similar to a tattoo D4VD has on his finger. The autopsy report said she still had braces when she died. Prosecutors believe her body was mutilated days later. Prosecutors believe Celeste's body was mutilated on May 5th, and her remains weren't found until months later in September. After the alleged killing, D4VD went on tour. He performed at Coachella. He played shows across North America, all while prosecutors say a 14-year-old girl's remains decomposed in the front trunk of his car, parked just minutes from where he had been living. For months after the September 2025 discovery, the investigation moved in deliberate, methodical silence. During Monday's news conference, LAPD Chief Jim McDonnell said the cause of death was difficult to determine. Due to the body's condition, the condition of her remains delayed the medical examiner's ability to determine her cause of death. The substantial amount of time that passed between her death and the discovery meant that crucial evidence had degraded or disappeared. The initial death certificate listed the cause of death as undetermined. Celeste's death certificate was released, listing the cause of death as undetermined. Sources told ABC News this was due to the advanced decomposition and dismemberment of her remains. By November 2025, law enforcement sources told NBC4 and other outlets that D4VD was considered a suspect. Law enforcement sources told Eyewitness News that D4VD is now considered a suspect. Sources say he is not cooperating with investigators despite statements from his PR representatives. A security hold was placed on the medical examiner's case file at the request of the LAPD, effectively sealing the autopsy results from the public and even from Celeste's own family. The medical examiner's office had previously been barred from releasing details about Celeste's death after the LAPD obtained a security hold on the case. Behind closed doors, prosecutors were building their case through grand jury proceedings. On November 26th, The Los Angeles Times confirmed that an investigative grand jury had been convened to hear evidence regarding possible charges relating to Rivas's death. Executives at Burke's record label were questioned. Robert Morgenroth, general manager of Mogul Vision, testified before the grand jury and was questioned about the singer's movements and the handling of the case. In January 2026, prosecutors subpoenaed Burke's own parents. D4VD's parents, Colleen and DeWud Burke, were subpoenaed to testify before a Los Angeles grand jury. Regarding Celeste's death, the Burke family challenged the subpoenas in Texas, arguing they were denied due process. A Texas appeals court denied the family's petition, requiring them to comply. The evidence includes witness testimony given to 3 different grand juries, whose existence the prosecutor confirmed for the first time publicly. Silverman said the grand juries, which have subpoena power, were called only for investigative reasons. And then, on April 16, 2026, nearly 7 months after the body was found, the arrest finally came. He was arrested on April 16, 2026, on suspicion of murdering Rivas and is being held without bail. 4 days later, the formal charges were announced. On April 20th, LAPD and the District Attorney's Office announced that Burke would be charged with first-degree murder, lewd and lascivious acts with a minor under 14, and mutilation of a body. Prosecutor Hochman stated the case includes special circumstances of lying in wait and financial gain, alleging Burke killed Rivas to protect his music career. Prosecutors indicated they will consider seeking the death penalty. The sheer volume of evidence prosecutors say they've gathered is staggering. Silverman claimed that the prosecution has amassed 40 terabytes worth of evidence for the case. Following his arrest, prosecutors reported that they found a significant amount of child pornography on Burke's iCloud storage account. Law enforcement sources also told NBC4 investigates that more than one person may have been involved in Celeste's death and the attempted disposal of her body. Burke pleaded not guilty. His legal team, attorneys Blair Burke, Marilyn Bednarski, and Regina Peter, issued a statement. The actual evidence in this case will show that David Burke did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and he was not the cause of her death. His attorneys told E! News, "We will vigorously defend David's innocence." In a move legal observers noted as unusual, Burke's defense team pushed for a quick preliminary hearing. In a rare move, the singer is exercising his right in California to have the preliminary evidence hearing within 10 court days of his arraignment. It is not entirely clear why his lawyers are pursuing the strategy. Burke said in court previously that with all the secret evidence gathered in the case, they simply want it seen. Judge Charlene F. Olmedo set the 4 to 5 day preliminary evidentiary hearing to start May 4. She will determine whether there is probable cause to send Burke to trial. On April 23, 2026, exactly 1 year to the day since Celeste was last seen alive, Burke appeared in court again. D4VD, whose legal name is David Anthony Burke, appeared in court in handcuffs wearing an orange jail jumpsuit. He was then unshackled by a deputy. For all the legal proceedings still to come, the family of Celeste Rivas Hernandez has been clear about what they want. Celeste was a beautiful, strong girl who loved to sing and dance. They shared. Every Friday night was movie night, and we spent wonderful times together. We miss her deeply. All we want is justice for Celeste. What happened to Celeste the night she died is, at its core, a question that a courtroom will now have to answer. The prosecution says they have 40 terabytes of evidence, child pornography on iCloud, forensic data from search warrants, testimony from 3 grand juries, and an autopsy report confirming homicide by stabbing. The defense says their client did not kill her. A preliminary hearing is set for May 1, 2026, where a judge will decide if there is enough evidence for trial. But whatever the legal outcome, there is one fact that no courtroom proceeding will change. A 14-year-old girl from Lake Elsinore who loved to sing and dance and watch movies on Friday nights is gone. And the world that was supposed to protect her didn't.